Haven't you often said to yourself, wow, I wish I could just send a snip of this report to my accountant or QuickBooks guru to ask how in the world I get the source name or vendor names listed here instead of the customer names. Okay, maybe that's not your question, maybe it's some other question, but I can tell you as a QuickBooks Pro advisor, it's really nice when clients send me screenshots with their questions because then I have a better understanding of what they're actually asking. So how do you use your snipping tool? What is the snipping tool? All of these questions shall be answered, darlings. Okay, first of all, if you've never seen the snipping tool again and you use a PC, Mac has their own action going on. You're going to go down to your Windows icon, lower left, right click on it so that you can do a search. Or if you have a search box down below, you can type it in. Type in snip. You're going to find this scissor snipping tool. What I'd like you to do is first pin it to your taskbar so that you have it all the time right in front of you. I've already done that, and so you can see that I already have, it's the very first thing actually I have on my taskbar is my snipping tool. You'll want to do that so that you have it nearby, and then when I open up the snipping tool, it looks like this. Now there's different modes, so if yours doesn't end up looking like mine, check your modes to make sure it's a rectangle. But what I can do with my snipping tool is choose new, and then I could snip just part of this report so that the person I'm talking to knows what I'm looking at. And then I have the choice of either copying it and pasting it into an email, saving it. This is a great way actually to do standard operating procedures for your company. I'll show you an example of that in a minute. So you could save it, you could copy it, and you can highlight it. So what do I mean for this? In the Employee Center, there are fields that you should never fill in. Let's go to Dan T. Miller, our imaginary employee Dan T. Miller. So what I can do is grab my snipping tool, I can highlight this, and then I can use the highlighter tool. Now that I've snipped my rectangle, it's a highlighter tool and there's a pen with different colors of ink. But if I start with my highlighting tool, I could highlight all the things that should be filled in. And then with a note saying if it's not filled in, don't fill in the field. Why am I telling you this? Because there are things on this page that could get you in so much trouble with employment law and HR stuff. You do not want to go there. I have seen way too many people guess the ethnicity of their coworkers. Like, there's a way to step in it, right? These are protected classes. You can't just guess. Okay, so this would be great for my standard operating procedure, right? I could grab this and then I could grab my red pen and be like, no, because this isn't actually marital status for taxes. It's like there's the choice of a widow in there, for goodness sakes. Where on the W-4 do you see widow? So don't do that one. Don't do that one. Don't do this one. Don't do this one. Now, you might have reasons of collecting this data. If you're getting benefits because you're hiring veterans, sometimes there's programs where you can get some of the wages covered when you're hiring veterans. Fine, then track veterans, so you don't need the red X here. But for most companies, this looks pretty good. And so I can now copy this and I could put it into a Word document. And I could put information around it explaining what the red X's mean, what the highlights mean. Obviously, this is pretty messy, but one of the disabilities of people working in the accounting field are being perfectionists. So when it comes to this kind of stuff, better it's quick and dirty and you have standard operating procedures in place for contingency purposes in case something happens to you or other people that do the bookkeeping. Better that it looks a little messy and it's done than you take forever to do this sort of thing because you want to make it look perfect, right? So there you go. That's how to use the snipping tool. Again, if you don't have it on your taskbar yet, you're going to want to go down to your Windows icon, search for snip. When you locate it, add it to your taskbar so that it's just a click away, and then you can highlight any sections that you want. I'll often like highlight half of this and half of that to show that I want you to do this, right? I want you to click this, snip half of the one in front and half the one behind to give you a better spatial awareness of where you're looking for to get this. So lots of opportunities with a snipping tool to create standard operating procedures, communicate with your coworkers and your accounting guru, and just in general in life, I'm just a big fan of the snipping tool. Have a great day.